Hey y'all, this is David, the Georgia photographer, and today I've got the Pentax-M 75-150mm f4, and we're just going to do a quick lens review of this. Okay, the fit and finish of this lens, it is really well made. The lens rivals Nikon lenses as far as build quality. The only thing about the Nikon lenses that's better is the lens hood, and we'll get to that in a minute. It has a generous, large focus ring, which is easy to manipulate. The zoom is nice and firm. It's smooth and easy to manipulate, but it's not so soft that it just falls like my Nikors. Those Series E Nikkor lenses apparently have a propensity for them to loosen up over time. Both of mine have terrible zoom creep in them. This one has no zoom creep whatsoever. It's a very stable lens. You can push it. The weight of the camera will move it, but by itself, the zoom ring doesn't move at all. Works beautifully. Next thing we're going to talk about is the aperture ring. The aperture ring is marked from f4 to f32. It's not in full stops. It's marked in full stop increments, but it's one full stop to 5/6, and then it's half stops from 5/6 to f22, and then it's a full stop to 32. It does not have a macro function of any kind that I can find. The zoom ring itself is marked at 75, 100, and 150 millimeters, and so you're guessing between them. You know, you basically zoom it till the composition looks like you want. That's how you operate with this lens. It has a built-in lens hood, like a lot of the older Nikors have, and it's literally you just pull it out and engage it. And I thought maybe it tightens up if you turn it, but it doesn't. It's very, very loose. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it binds if you push on one side, but then it ain't level, it ain't square. But it pushes down and it stays down real well. The zoom ring passes over it when it's in the compressed position. So they give you a little narrow ring to pull it out with while it's in 75mm mode. It does not have an internal thread on the zoom ring. The face of the lens has the filter threads. If you pull out the lens hood, then your filter has to fit inside of the thread ring footprint so that it doesn't actually interfere with the little built-in lens hood. It won't work otherwise. It barely clears the filter thread. But you could probably put, I don't know what size filter this is. Looks like it's about a 52 or a 58. But that's just part of the uniqueness of the lens. This is an M series lens. And an M series lens has a bayonet mount. It's not M42, which don't make sense. But this has the K mount to fit Pentax cameras. And because of that, you have to get a unique K mount quick release, which has the release mechanism on it. And it's kind of, honestly, it's positioned better than the Nikkor, because to take the lens mount off on a Nikon, it's on this side. But on this one, it's right there where that finger rests. And you just reach out and hit it with your finger and take the lens off. It facilitates changing lenses much better. It's actually a really good idea in their design. This lens, when the lens hood's compressed, the lens itself is about 4 3/4 inches long. And when you run out the lens hood, it adds about a 1/2 inch to that length, and it gets it out to a little over 5 1/4 inches. Now, it weighs just a touch over a pound. It's like 16.4 ounces. So it's a fairly heavy lens, and with the adapter on it, you're probably adding 2 or 3 more ounces there, maybe 4. So you got a pretty hefty lens there, but it rides well in the hand. But you know it's on the camera. It's, since it's not plastic, it's a lot heavier. The glass in my copy looks perfect. Beautiful lens. It's gorgeous, and it is the SMC series, which means super multi-coated, and it's got multi-coated optics. It's got like 11 elements in it. It's a bunch of glass inside this thing, and it works so well. It's actually got pretty good rendering. Now, what I have noticed is it's a touch soft at f4. If you shoot it wide open and you shoot close up, the depth of field gets really shallow, and it's really tough to get perfectly clean focus. But what I did notice is if I stopped it down to f5/6 or f8, the depth of field widens a little bit, and it makes it a lot easier to get something sharp. And I took a bunch of photos around the property today to kind of showcase this lens and to get some photos of the usual flora and fauna that I like to photograph in the early springtime if I can get an opportunity. I would have to look again, but I paid like $39.99 for the lens. It was dirt cheap, and it's a way better lens than the Nikor's 75-150 Series E from the 80s. Much better lens. Really appreciate the fellow who wrote me the email and suggested it. I really thank you for that one, because this one now goes in the bag and replaces that Nikor that I was using. So with that, let's get on with the photos. So with that, if you have any questions about this lens that I can possibly answer, drop them in the comments. If you've got a favorite mid-range telephoto that you like to use with your old cameras, or your mirrorless cameras that you like to adapt your lenses to, drop it in the comments. Let us know. Let's talk about it. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, the subscribe button's over there. I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that. And I'd love a thumbs up. Those always make the channel do a little better. So with that, until next time, this is David, the Georgia photographer, coming to you live from Trenton, Georgia. Let's do it like Darren Miles, from beautiful, sunny Trenton, Georgia. Anyway, we'll see y'all later. And until then, get your camera out and go take a picture with it. All right?